IPE WU Careers. You want to learn about jobs that combine politics and economics? Well, you're at the right place. Our students have collected questions for people with interesting jobs that combine politics and economics. Here are their answers to our questions. This is Brian. He is a senior advisor at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, based in Vienna. Brian works in the Sustainable Investments and Responsible Business Unit, part of UNIDO's Directorate of SDG Innovation and Economic Transformation. In his role, he focuses on UNIDO's technical cooperation programs in the area of investment promotion and foreign direct investment facilitation. Currently, he leads a program that supports African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries in implementing policies to strengthen productive capacities and value chains. Before joining UNIDO, Brian held positions at PricewaterhouseCoopers, Human Dynamics, and the Government of Malta. He studied international economics, economic development, and technological change at the University of Oslo and the University of Glasgow. Hello, Brian. Thank you for joining us today. Jeremy Clarkson would like to know, what is an accomplishment you're most proud of that doesn't appear on your CV but has shaped you as a person?
Yes, I think one of the main achievements or accomplishments would be the relationships that you develop, the friendships that you make during the course of the journey, of the career journey. So, and this network, which is not purely only for professional reasons, but also for personal reasons, enriches you as a person and enables you to do a better job in the future.
Vupal Has My Heart is wondering, I'm still figuring out what I want to do with my life and career. As a student, did you have a clear idea of your future path, or did you discover it more by chance?
I think the answer would be both. I had the opportunity to start working soon after university, so that gave me a good idea of the work that I was going to be doing for some period, but also what could be prospects in terms of growing and pursuing the career. And then I tried to continue that process with further education, which then opened more possibilities to try to understand whether the early choices were the ones that I should pursue further or whether I would need to look out for new opportunities. So in my case, actually, that's what happened to me. I started working and then I continued studying. Once continuing studying, I realized that I wanted to do something else and move in different places and countries. And that slowly but surely helped me to take decisions up to the present days.
Frank Y. is curious, what do I have to do to get an internship at the UNIDO? Any tips for the application process?
Well, yes, of course, one needs to keep on the lookout for the opportunities which are accessible through the UNIDO website and the social media platforms. And, of course, follow the instructions in the application process. Maybe something that could be a suggestion would be to try to be as unique as possible and also to try to bring to the attention of who's deciding about the selection of interns of the type of experience, but also of the capacity of the person in terms of undertaking specific tasks. So the more clear you are in terms of what you want to do and how you want to contribute, the better you would be signaled out in terms of the respective opportunities.
Contra Corruption wants to ask, what do you find most rewarding about your work?
This is a very interesting question. I think the most rewarding part is that incrementally you see that you are able to make a difference, have an impact in the livelihoods of beneficiaries in other countries, in those who you are trying to support and assist. This may not be so immediately evident in the sense that, yes, you're maybe not working directly with the ultimate beneficiaries of the work that you are currently undertaking, but when you see gradual improvements over time, that provides a very important sense of satisfaction that you have been a contributor to the process.
Awesome. WU Newbie wants to find out, what was the funniest moment of your career?
Oh, I think the funniest moments in my career were always having to do with language and translation. I used to coordinate a program in Vietnam. And of course, there were always situations of lengthy translations of seemingly short answers or short statements that I would have conveyed to our counterparts, which would then have been translated into minutes-long description, a never-ending description of what I said. So I used to turn to my colleagues and say, did I say so much? Did I expand so much in my experience? So yeah, that was always a funny situation.
Leon Dev is wondering, given your experience in investment promotion, what key factors make a country or region attractive to foreign investors, and how can governments improve their policies to enhance investment inflows?
Yes, it's a very important. This is an important question. Experience suggests, and empirical evidence suggests, that those countries that are more proactive in terms of reaching out to potential new investors and have clarity in what they can offer to potential investors are way ahead and are at an advantage point compared to other countries who are perhaps undertaking a more generic approach to investment mobilization. Of course, once the investment is captured, is attracted, there has to be a very, very efficient process of facilitating this investment, and that's where currently there's a lot of emphasis on facilitating investment across the investment cycle. It's very important that facilitation actually means the day-to-day support to investment that needs to be materialized, to be realized, and of course to ensure that there is enough information and data to ascertain the impact of that investment to not only benefit the foreign investment, but also to benefit the local economic fabric in terms of linkages with smaller domestic enterprises, the domestic labor force, the domestic institutions, academia, and the like. So these factors altogether can make an important difference for countries in their attraction process of foreign investment.
BWL-Allergiker would be interested to hear, do you believe that meaningful structural change, particularly regarding inequality and uneven development, is possible within an economic system that many argue is built on inequality and exploitation? And if so, how?
That's a very difficult question. I mean, it's possible. It's possible to try. What is important also is to ascertain the fact that the starting position of countries in terms of their structural dynamics are different. So the extent of catching up with what is considered to be targets of development of structural change has to be factored in. There is always a possibility that the inequalities increase, and of course, with the onset of new technology, digitalization, capital flows, erratic policy at the international level, these inequalities are expected to increase rather than decrease, and that's why there is need for more work to support those countries that are still in the catching up game.
Leon Dev would like to know, how do you see the role of technology and digital transformation shaping industrial development in emerging markets? And what challenges need to be addressed for sustainable growth?
Yes, indeed. Countries in emerging markets need to undoubtedly embrace more technology and digitalization, the onset of artificial intelligence, and all streams of new technology that are being adopted in the, let's say, in the more developed countries and regions of the world. At the same time, there is a big understanding that the gains from adopting new technologies may vary because the conducive factors, the receptor conditions in these countries might not be still as ideal as in the more developed world. So the idea is to study more closely the intertwining between policies, between technologies, as well as the who is adopting the technologies and for what purpose. The big risk is that those countries that are still trying to reach out to new investment, to new technologies will fall behind, whereas there will be more and more cluster agglomeration of those countries with the adoption of new technologies that are expected to widen rather than address the discrepancies in terms of economic growth and development. So this is a very important international policy issue that needs urgent attention by countries, by governments, by international organizations.
BWL Allergiker wants to learn, has your strong background in economics led you to become more critical of the current economic system, or has it reinforced your support for it?
Yes, I have become more critical. At the same time, I have more support of the topic because I have also been encouraging family members and also friends, etc., to dig deeper into the topic. I've been being critical because up to a certain point, and this recent financial crisis has shown that there's been too much emphasis on the, let's say, theoretical financial, let's say, the statistical econometric modeling, which may be excellent on paper, but when implemented in the real world, they leave much to be desired. And there's been probably too much attention to that stream of work in economics rather than the more political economy, the more impact at country and at enterprise level. At the same time, the challenges that we face in today's world are better understood if you have a good grounding in economic as well as policy analysis. So I think it's a very important subject to master, to harness in terms of understanding more today's world and what could be tomorrow's world in terms of providing solutions to some of the major challenges at the global level.
Period is curious. Do you ever feel frustrated by the current state of the world and its politics? And if so, how do you cope with those feelings?
Very much, and most of the time. I mean, one first thing that comes to mind is to stop reading and to stop following the news and stop informing oneself. However, I also find that the more nuanced you are, the better you would be to try to ascertain what makes sense or what does not make sense, and where perhaps opportunities would be available, not only in terms of the day-to-day work, but also in terms of foresight, in terms of future work or future opportunities. So there's a mix of feelings in this very volatile scenario. So volatility, uncertainty, complexity, the ambiguity of decisions, these are all elements that are interesting cauldron of challenges that from where we can get opportunities for further action and work.
Kaylee would be interested to hear, how would studying politics and economics be useful in your career?
It is very useful, and I would encourage very strongly to keep this nexus between politics and economics, because these are two sides of the same coin, and more and more, these are two aspects, two dimensions that are very, very strongly intertwined in our daily understanding of how the economy works, how countries functions, how groups of countries function, and also sheds light on the decision-making process that is happening at international and national level. So strongly encouraging that dual studying on politics and economy, which is very, very useful.
Jordan Carter wants to learn, how did your studies prepare you for your current job? And how did you acquire the skills you didn't learn in university?
Well, I think from a perspective of the usual first degree, postgraduate, and doctoral studies, you are in the process of developing a certain level of expertise in an area which you would think that, yes, you are going to be working in that particular domain. So up to a certain point, that was the case, because I used to work in the economic sphere, in terms of economic policy, in terms of undertaking of studies and reports and economic reporting and bulletins. And all this was intertwined with the good grounding in terms of economic background, economic studies and qualifications. Then at some point, you realize that there's much more, because I started doing, for example, project management work with few years of experience in this area. So you learn by doing in terms of this process, and then you try to bring elements from the different experiences from academia, but also from the professional aspects that serve you better in terms of becoming better at your job. So academia on the one hand, but also professional experience on the other hand, when these mix together, I think that's a very good, important recipe to have in one's career.
Hartley786 wants to find out, how can academia improve to better prepare students for real-world work experience?
I think academia is doing a formidable job in preparing students to better understand the present in terms of what the actual economy is all about, how business affects societies, how business and economies can manage and address the fundamental challenges that countries and the world is facing today. Of course, to be given more voice, to be given more space to be part of decision making in terms of policy setting and policy implementation, it needs to continue to be vocal and to be also find the space and an opportunity to be part of more than just linkages between academia and industry, but more to develop that kind of relationship of ideas, of exchange of opportunities between the different streams.
Want more information? Visit the Institute for International Political Economy. You will find podcasts analyzing current events, TikTok videos defining key concepts, and courses explaining the world.